We have double the temperature that they do in Denver right now. Maybe our score of the Patriots game will reflect that as well. We'll see, right? It is this cold air that has seeped all the way down into Texas that is fueling this massive storm. So much of the country lit up in winter storm warnings here in the pink. This is setting records for the most ever. I mean, so this is just a huge storm in terms of the amount of people being impacted. You can see it is still snowing from Texas all the way up into New York now, and even those flakes getting into Connecticut. Looks like that snow is falling in Massachusetts. It is not reaching the ground just yet. Really in earnest, this snow is going to fill in between about 10 a.m. and noontime. And then after 3 p.m. is when it gets really heavy. 3 p.m. to midnight is when it's going to be heaviest. But we are piling up around 1 to 2 feet of snow across the bulk of the area. One thing to caution you about is that those intense snowfall rates may actually produce something we don't see all that often around here, and that is thunder snow. That is a distinct possibility. I think the greatest chance will be between 4 and 9 p.m. when we really get into some of those intense snowfall rates. Single digits right now. You're 3 in Worcester. There's our 8 in Boston. But look at Nantucket, 20 degrees. That is ocean influenced air. That as the wind picks up out of the east and the northeast, it will be driven toward the west a little bit. But see how orange Worcester sitting in the lower teens? That difference in temperature, we often see this coastal front, the boundary dividing the two air masses setting up in these storms, and it can kind of drift back and forth. It will do that during this storm, but what it does is it acts as a little bit of extra lift in the atmosphere to create some higher snowfall totals and increase those snowfall rates. So that's why we think a good portion of the area from Boston to Worcester all the way northward could actually see 18 to 24 inches of snow among a general 12 to 18. 6 to 12, though, lower amounts down toward the South Coast, Cape, and the islands. And Kellyanne will talk a little bit more about this coming up. Let me show you the timing here as we get that steady snow to really start to move in through midday. Through 1 o'clock, it is starting to accumulate. And then once we get to about 3, 4 o'clock, that's when the darker blue colors start showing up. And you can see those heavier snowfall rates showing up very clearly right through about 8 o'clock this evening. Thereafter, take a look at this pink area. That is some of the sleet that may mix in, holding your totals down toward the South Coast, the Cape, and the islands. But also notice those temperatures in the lower 20s all the way up to Lawrence. This will impact the consistency of the snow. It is going to be a little bit wetter as you go south of the Pike, and super dry and fluffy here north and west of 495. What about after midnight? Look at how the snow intensity kind of ramps down. We may actually go to some freezing drizzle for a little bit. There's kind of a lull in the overnight hours, and then additional snow swing on through Monday morning, midday, afternoon. This does not wrap up until Monday night with additional snow tomorrow, but the bulk of those totals, they're going to fall through about midnight, 1 a.m. Let's talk about how much you can expect when this is all said and done now, region by region with Kellyanne.
Yes, and we are expecting that 18 to 24 inch zone to extend from Boston out to Worcester. What I want to focus in on is as you move away from the coastline, fluffy, powdery snow. As you get a little bit close to the coast and even into Boston, you'll start to notice by late tonight more of an onshore wind. That will start to produce more of a wetter type of snowfall into late tonight, into the overnight hours. So you might want to shovel before we get into that time frame. Now let's take it a little bit farther west. Very powdery. This is where we're talking about another jackpot zone, 18 to 24 inches out through the Berkshires and through much of Worcester County. Let's take you south. That's where things get more complicated. While we could see 18 to 24 inches south of Boston too, extending down through the Blackstone Valley, you're getting into a wetter type of snowfall. So likely starting to move down toward the lower end of that range. More so as you stretch farther southward toward 44, more of that sleet potential. So I would suggest absolutely if you can shovel before we get into that change over to sleet, that will be to your benefit. We're seeing a sleet potential down toward Cape Cod and the islands. And so you're likely staying to the lower end of this range, just about 6 inches, heading down toward Nantucket. So a lot of varying conditions over time, Cindy.
Yeah, and good tips with the shoveling. I think this is going to require more than one cleanup effort for a lot of us here. So the snow is heaviest early tonight, and then tomorrow again, it is light snow, but it is doing it basically all day long. Temperatures in the 20s actually falling as the winds turn from the north to more of the northwest as the storm passes by us. You may be near and just above freezing early in the day down toward Plymouth and the Cape, and then the temperatures will drop even more so. Again, one final look at your snow totals, and it doesn't look like it's going to be melting anytime soon as we have got temperatures stuck no higher than the lower 20s right through the upcoming weekend. So talk about a storm with some staying power. My goodness, the snow is going to be with us a while. Jenna Rondello.